Good morning. How are you today? Hopefully you're alive and well. I get up in the morning, I've got a pulse, it's a good day. I heard somebody, my pal Davey used to say that to me all the time. It's fantastic. So I'm going to focus a wee bit more on fear today. And I'm going to talk about a wee bit more about fear and can you handle it? I think that's the biggest challenge for all of us. And I'll tell you why it resonated with me today. Morning, Joanna. Dr. Susan Jeffers, let's be honest. It's a fantastic book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And I was reading over it a bit more, but it did stimulate to talk about it a lot more. So she talks about in her first chapter, what are you afraid of? And she breaks fear down into 3 levels. Now, the first level of fear is the surface story, the ones that we describe. The level of fear that can be divided into 2 types. That's what can happen and those that require action. So the level 1 fears are about what can happen and those that require action are. So those that can happen to you: aging, becoming disabled, retirement, being alone, children leaving home, natural disasters, loss of financial security, change, dying, got a pulse, it's a good day, war, illness, loss of loved ones, accidents, and the fear of COVID. And this is what got me to talk about this today. Is I met a young lady yesterday when I was out in evaluation, and she works at 9 Miles Hospital, and she says, I saw your previous one on fear, and we talked about it in the hospital, and you're absolutely right. We're afraid. Why should I be afraid? Because I've got PPE top to bottom, and I'm protected. And when I looked at it that way, I wasn't afraid anymore. Or I was afraid less than I was before, because I was completely covered. I observed someone yesterday when I was walking, and we were walking up a single path, and they ran as fast as possible to keep ahead of me, because they wanted to stay away from me. But the reality is, I don't have it. They don't have it. It's not going to find me, and it's not going to look for me. I'm in the middle of nowhere. The chances of getting it is impossible almost. And those that require action, going back to school, making decisions, changing a career, making friends, enriching or beginning a relationship, having a child, asserting oneself, losing weight, being interviewed, driving, public speaking, making a mistake, and intimacy. And that's the level 1 fears. She goes on to talk about, though, the level 2 fears. So the level 2 fears are not situated and orientated. They involve the ego. So level 2 fears are rejection, success, failure, being vulnerable, being conned. You see loads of people on the news that come up and say, I didn't want to say anything because I felt embarrassed, the fact that they had conned me. But we're all afraid of it. Helplessness, disapproval, and loss of image. These are all level 2 fears, which have inner states of mind rather than exterior situations, and it's basically all in the head. That's really what it comes down to, level 2 fears. They reflect the same sense of self and the ability to handle the world about you. And this explains why the generalisation of fear takes place. If you're afraid of being rejected, this fear will almost affect every area of your life. Your friends, your intimate relationships, your job interviews, and so on and so forth. Rejection is rejection, wherever it's found. So you begin to protect yourself as a result, and as a result, you greatly limit yourself in what you can do. You begin to shut down and close out the world round about you. You look over the level 2 list of fear again, and you'll see that any one of those fears can greatly impact on many areas of your life. But ultimately, the level 3 fear gets down to the nitty-gritty. And it's the biggest fear of all, the one that really helps keep you stuck. And are you ready for this? What the level 3 fear is? I can't handle it. That's it. That's the big deal. You know I know you're disappointed because you were expecting something more greater than this. But that's the truth. The level 3 fear, and ultimately at the bottom of everything, is simply the fear that you can't handle it, whatever life may bring you. So let's put this to the test. Level 1 fears translate to, I can't handle illness. I can't handle making a mistake. I can't handle losing my job. I can't handle getting old. I can't handle being alone. I can't handle making a fool out of myself. I can't handle not getting the job done. I can't handle losing out or losing him or her. I can't handle losing my money. Level 2 fears translate to, I can't handle the responsibilities of success. I can't handle failure. I can't handle rejection. And level 3 is simply, I can't handle it. And that's it. So the truth is, and here's the big one. And morning everybody, sorry I've not been able to give you a name check or a shout, but I'm on a mission. If you knew you could handle anything that came your way, what would you possibly have to fear? The answer is nothing. And I'll see you tomorrow at 7:30.